I'm Logan Crawford, and right now on Spotlight, we delve into the profound cultural and spiritual practices of the Republic of Congo with Audrey C.P. Moungolo Iboumbi, author of Taboo and Impurity. In the book, the author brings an intimate exploration of how pollution in the sense of sins and uncleanliness affects societal and spiritual life. We're delighted to have this very talented author join us here today on Spotlight. We thank the team at Atticus Publishing for helping us put her in the spotlight today. And we ask viewers like you to support writers like her by subscribing to our channel and by purchasing her important book. The links are below this interview. Audrey, great to see you here today on Spotlight.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Great to have you on the show. Let's give the folks at home an overview of what the book Taboo and Impurity is all about.
Okay, in my book, Taboo and Impurity, I titled that. So my book, I speak about pollution first. And my curiosity has come since I was a student and later research assistant of Dr. Megan Doherty, the film and digital media director of the Loyola University Chicago School of Communication. So when Dr. Doherty tasked me with Douglas Purity and Danger, while exploring the book, I saw myself and my own experiences going back in the Republic of Congo. So I realized that my life has been revolved around Douglas pollution, notion of pollution. So in my book, pollution is sin and uncleanliness. So sin that affect individual bodies and soul. So in Africa, in the past, through the Old Testament, pollution has become a significant problem from this social society. So our ancestor Congolese in Africa, they thought that the best way to respect religion convention was to invite pollution in life. So pollution is a sin that referring as or like individual immoral act that affect divine laws. So in the past, our ancestors incorporated the religion in this social tradition and practices in the way to maintain moral values and communion with God.
Yeah.
So in impurity, I can explain more about like impurity. For example, when we see, for example, for water is symbolic in Congolese culture because water is a symbol of purification. So first of all, Congolese people all they believe that water displays the chronology of days. So in the past, our ancestors could not drink the same water every day. They had to change water every time, every day. So for them, they thought that keeping the same water inside the bucket and drinking that, this will affect their way to have like a vision and dreams. So people who drink the same water every day, stuck inside the bucket or somewhere, cannot develop the spiritual vision of dream. So sometimes when they have dream at night, when they wake up in the morning, they cannot remember anything about that.
Yeah.
So water is significant in Africa, especially in the Republic of Congo. So in my book, I focus more on the Republic of Congo since where I was born. So I have more knowledge about tradition and practices and belief in Africa, in Congo. So Douglas, when we see Douglas, Douglas studied many primitive people and around Africa. So for my book, I just like focus just in the Republic of Congo. Douglas went to study, but I'm an insider. I was born inside. I know my tradition, I know my belief. And in the past also, only in the in regarding like impurity, a menstruating woman could not attend the church in the past. In the Protestant church, a menstruating woman could not enter the church. So menstruation is a pollution that impacted women that when she's in period of this of the menstruation. So this belief exists still now, in contrast to the Protestant church who allowed now women to attend the church. But in Gunza, they don't, even now, they don't allow to, like a menstruating woman to enter the church. So entering the church is a way to impact the church purity. So the church has to be pure. So when the menstruating woman entered the church, she left this impurity, even when she left. So a menstruating woman has to stay home, wait for after 7 days. After then, she will wash everything that she touched at that period being in menstruating. And then after then, she can return back to the church. It also like associated with like Punu and Zebi ethnicities like groups in Congo. They observing that during the period of purgation. So in purgation, like cooking for their husband could affect the husband like state of purity. And also, beside like menstruating, we also have like the spirit also like associated with hands. Like in Congo especially, the left hand is associated with sin that can affect many individuals in society. So it's happened when like a woman, when they like cooking food for the husband, when we have like food that we call palnut. So palnut is a soup that promote deliverance and peace. So many women in the Republic of Congo, so now at that time now, many they don't know much about like impurity. So cooking food using the left hands. So many men in Congo don't consume food with palm nut because of that. Because the left hand is associated with sin. And then when a woman using left hands for bath, so this will impact the woman, like men state of purity. Also in the case in impurity, we also have like the same with hands. I can say that like Congolese attitude said, like Congolese belief say that shaking hands, it's not a symbolic of love. Because when we shake hands, we putting ourselves in risk of contaminating impurity. So people can ask why. So in Congo, especially in Congo, hands are source of pollution. So when we use our hands, sometimes we contaminating, sometimes we don't know that there is like impurity. So why hands? When in my book, I say no to Mary Douglas when she said that Congolese people, like African ancestors, were confused about isolation and hygiene. So in Congo, religion is compounding with hygiene. Hygiene is hygiene. isolation is isolation. So in the past, our ancestors were not confused about hygiene or isolation. They were just like afraid to be like contaminating impurity. Because when someone was actually like in danger of contaminating impurity, this person has to be in isolation to do not spread the impurity. They do not spread the contact being inside, like between, like in group or in crowd. So today we cannot say what we like we experience with COVID-19. They say to people to not shake hands. It was a way to contaminating like COVID-19. So yeah, for isolation, I cannot also say that, for example, the American people were confused about like hygiene or isolation. They put people who were like extremely like dangerous to other people to spread like COVID-19. It was the same way that our ancestors did in the past. So when someone was so dangerous, they saw the level. They cannot like put all people together at the same box. So they have to isolate. For example, I can share the story of my own family, my own experiences. So my great-great-grandmother was in isolation for 12 months. Because she lost 9 of her kids during like the infant like age, 9 kids, just because of impurity. So when she got the 3rd pregnancy, what they did, they put her with pregnancy in isolation. So after giving birth to my grandmother, so she was like released after 1 year. So the surviving baby was my grandmother.
Amazing. Amazing. It's an amazing culture. It's amazing revelations that you've shared with us today. Amazing stories as well. A culture that many Americans aren't aware of, and you'll find out more about it in this book as we learn about the profound cultural and spiritual practices of Congo. The name of the book is Taboo and Impurity. It's an amazing read. It'll open up your eyes to a part of life that you probably weren't aware of. Audrey, thank you so much for joining us here today on Spotlight.
Okay, it was my pleasure.
Pleasure's all mine. I appreciate your time. And to the folks at home, I'm Logan Crawford, thanking you for your time this time. Until next time on Spotlight.
Okay.